Namaskar friends, keep learning with Export Import Make in India campaign. And today in the session, we will understand the shipping line charges. So what are the shipping line charges? These are the type of here. Okay, so freight charges, surcharges. Okay, so these are the surcharges which are always variable. It's depend on the some factor. After that, terminal handling charges, which called TSC, documentation fees, port surcharges, port charges, and demurrage and detention. So for any exporter and importer, it is very essential to know and understand these charges who is involved in international trade. Okay. So this is the breakdown key aspect which impact and what is the importance of this. So core concept. Shipping line charges specially pertain to the cost associated with the ocean leg of shipments. Okay. So these charges is occurred due to the movement of goods, okay, from port to port. Okay, these are differentiate that from border freight rate, which may include inland transportation and warehousing. Okay, so you know that the movement of goods depend on the three mode. First, the cargo move from customer factory to the seaport. Okay, so this is called inland transportation. Then this is warehousing. Warehousing means that this cargo is placed at the seaport until the ship reach at that location. So these are the storage charges. Then after then port to port freight charges. So three main factor. This is the core concept of the shipping line charges. In this three factor, all charges are charged by the shipping line. Okay, so factor influence these charges. What are the factor which influence these charges? Like fuel price. If fuel prices changes, then these charges will be changed. Okay. Then currency exchange rate. If currency changes, currency exchange rate is changed, then again these charges will influence. After the seasonal demand, in case of seasonal demand, due to the low inventory availability of the empty containers, the charges can be increased by the shipping line. Okay, then shipping the routes by which the ship is going to which route. Okay, like if Red Sea is not working, we can say there is any issue in the Red Sea, then she will move through, go around the Africa, it will charge increase. So this factor also influence. Type of cargo. Okay, if cargo is normal, then charges is normal. But if cargo is hazardous, which is necessary to handle some other and extra treatment. So due to this type of cargo, this factor influence charges. Okay, then container size. If container is 20 feet, then charges is normal. But if container is a 40 size, then charges can be differ. Okay, so these are the mainly factor which influence these charges. Now, important to understand these charges. Okay, why these charges to be understand for any exporter and importer? Because the importer and export can accurate budget planning and inform career selection. Okay, because the charges can be increased, so he can planning his business accordingly. Okay, just like he prepared the commercial invoice at mentioning this freight charge only $4,000 per container, but shipping line increase after this charges. So what will be proceed that this charge who will bear these charges, because the freight is increase and the exporter prepare the commercial one, this is only $4,000, but shipping line charge this is the $5,000. So this accurate budget planning is required to understand these charges. This is very important for any exporter importer. Okay, by this helping he can optimize the supply chain efficiency by understanding these charges, because that he know that what factor can influence, so he can manage and planning his business accordingly. Now in the session we'll understand what are the type of charges. Okay, so first charge is the freight charges. So this is the fundamental cost moving cargo from one port to another. Okay, like a port to port charges, it's called the seaport charges. Okay, sea freight charges. Mainly, sometimes people say that freight charges is just general cargo which after shipment is unloaded at the seaport and cargo moved by the transport to the factory of the importer. So this is also freight, but in import export, the freight is only which is port to port port to port charges. Okay, then some surcharges. These are very important factors which influence any moment of the shipments. Charges can increase and decrease. Okay, so bunker adjustment charges, which is compensated by this influence in the fuel price. If fuel charges increase, then these charges will be also increase. Then currency adjustment factor. If exchange rate is changes, then these main charges will be also be different, not actual, which is given by shipping line. Okay, then peak season charges. In the time of peak season, if we book the containers, then charges will be high because that at that time inventory is not available, because any exporter and importer want to export at that time. Okay, so in seasonal and festival time, these charges will be high. Okay, so these are the basic surcharges which is always influence this main charges. Okay, then terminal handling charges. So the cover cost loading and unloading containers at the port terminal. Okay, at the seaport, at the time of exporting, we the container is loaded to the ship. So by handling process is called loading, and due to this charge shipping charge by shipping line, it's called TSC, terminal handling charges. At the same way, when container is at their destination and container is unloaded from the ship one by one, so there is a additional handling required, that's called terminal handling. Okay, so these are also common at terminal handling. Okay, at the time of origin, this is called original TSC. At the destination, this is called the destination TSC. Then documentation fees. Documentation fees is the fees which is uh, charged by the shipping line while exporter book the container and he received the bill of lading. Okay, so this fees is called a bill of lading charges in the invoice of the shipping line. Okay, and the same time, this container will reach the destination, and the importer need to take the delivery order from the shipping line. So there, this charge called the delivery order charges. Okay, DO charges. So the both the origin and destination, these documentation fees apply. At origin, shipper will pay the at the time of booking bill of lading charges. At the destination, importer will pay these charges. Okay. Now port charges. These are also port charges, but another port charges will apply like a fees imposed by the port authority use port facilities. Okay, just like this or loading and unloading and handling is comes under the shipping line. But if this cargo is kept under the third party warehouses or CFS, then they will charge, which is called the port charges. Okay, space occupation charges. Now demurrage and detention charges. So these are the penalty charges exit allowed to time containers uses the port, demurrage outside the port. Like when containers reach at the seaport in import case, so container will unload it and go for the custom examination, which is necessary demand of the any country government. Okay, if cargo is like a smuggling a type of cargo, so government always examining the cargo. Okay, so in the case of any error found in cargo and documentation, then government object the cargo and it may hold the examination process. So this charge comes under the demurrage charges because that container is hold at the any place where CFS are any warehouses. So the authority will charge as a demurrage. Now detention. Detention is charges like a ship, shipping line. Shipping line give us time to return the empty container while container cargo is unloaded is the customer factory, then return in the time. So if importer is not able to return this container in the time, then shipping line will charge per day detention charges. Okay, so I already covered this detention in another session, so you can check out the session in the playlist. Okay, what is detention charge and all the thing. So here we are understanding this charges meaning. Okay, so if you not return the empty container to the shipping line, then shipping line will charge the detention. Okay, so guys, in this session we have tried to understand some shipping line charges, which is very important to understand any importer and exporter while business of the international trade, because that by understanding these charges he will plan the business. Okay, and accurate budget planning, inform to career selection. Okay, this kind of like a planning that what freight can be increase or decrease. So he may prepare his commercial invoice accordingly. So now we are just going to end the session here. Thanks for watching the session. Have a nice day.